So welcome to the Strandberg Virtual Showroom. And what is this? Well, we're going to take a look at some new models that are coming out, some new guitar models, some new pickups, some new basses, and a couple of different things. And I'm going to show them to you, and I'm going to talk about the features, and you can ask all kinds of questions about them, and I will do my absolute best to answer them. All right, so let's get started. Has everyone settled in? Well, I'm going to start with one that you guys have been waiting for. It's the new line of neck-through guitars, starting with the original 6 neck-through. And well, for those of you who are familiar with our original line of guitars, these models are based on swamp ash bodies, in this case chambered swamp ash wings with a roasted maple neck, through neck of course, with this really nicely sculptured heel here for upper fret access. You also have this really pretty roasted figured maple board. And of course, you also have our new Strandberg MF original pickups. This model comes equipped with dual humbuckers, and we have developed a new 5-way switching that we think sort of utilizes the best parts of these pickups. So I'm just going to go through the positions and what they do and what we try to achieve with this model in particular. Well, the original series is the founding Strandberg design. I hope you can see it here. And it has the signature Strandberg snappy tone and overtone rich, sort of like a really open kind of character that really lets you decide what the sound is going to be like. And the swamp ash properties really come through with this design. It's really snappy. It has a pronounced upper mid-range response, and it has like this really pristine clarity to it. And combined with the neck-through construction, it adds to the depth of the tone, basically. We still love our bolt-on models. That's the founding Strandberg design, and we still enjoy everything about it. But there's just something about a neck-through design that some players just crave. Sort of when you connect the neck to the body wings like this, you get a different transfer of the vibrations between the neck and the body, and you get a stronger sort of fundamental tone out of it. And that is going to give you a thicker, punchier tone with more sustain. If you compare it to like the bolt-on version, the bolt-on version is snappier sounding, more open sounding. It's the classic Strandberg sound. But this is for the players who seek sort of the thicker tone of a neck through, but still enjoy the clarity of a typical Strandberg, a classic Strandberg guitar. And this one comes equipped with our Strandberg MF original humbuckers. I don't know if you can see them properly. Yeah, you can see them. Yeah, that's cool. And these are designed to capture the essence of the original series. So they're designed to be versatile, open sounding, medium output, like usable for any kind of player, really. So there's really no player out there who couldn't get a good sound out of this model. And this is one of the finishes that is available. It's a natural finish. It's also classic Strandberg. And for those of you who want something different, you know this type of finish from our first Bowden True Temperament model, which is the brown burst. So this is a classic brown to black burst, and we think goes really well together with the black nickel finish of the pickups and the roasted fretboard. And in this case, the back of the guitar is black, like that. Cool, right? Well, do we have any questions about the original 6 Nectar? Just pretend it's a normal fair booth. You can ask me anything, and hopefully I can answer. I can't guarantee it, but hi there.
Hello, Peter.
Hi. Who do we have here?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for for doing this. And well, here's my Strandberg. I have it always. But
It's
so
very pretty.
my question wasn't really about the model you just showed.
Okay.
It was about, well, with these pickups, which are great, but I've never been a fan of active pickups.
All right.
I struggle getting, well, I'm a metal guy, but I struggle getting the proper split sound in the neck that sometimes you want to have with cleans. And I mean, I don't own a lot of guitars, and when you're a gigging musician, well, I sometimes use it for jazz gigs and stuff like that. And so my question was, did you think about these sort of things doing the new pickups, so the MF pickups? And so are they in some way or another more versatile, or, easy to get around?
Yeah, sort of. Well, the idea with these pickups from the start was that it's not like we were unhappy with what we were using like before. The Fishmans and the Sirs are excellent pickups in many ways, but what we wanted to do was designing pickups that would really sort of capture the initial idea of each series. So making sort of giving them their own character, like taking the character further, like that. So we always want to keep our instruments versatile, but in the case of, like, for example, the metal series, we still like the split coil sounds and the in-between sounds are really high priority sounds, because metal players today they not only use like the highest of gains, they use a lot of different sounds. But at the same time, if you're going to make like a real true metal pickup, it's going to be it's going to be fairly high output, and it's not going to be perfect for everything. But so in a way, yeah, and in a way, no, because we try to make each series, like, take for instance, like the Fusion series. It's meant to cover like everything, and that goes for the pickups as well. We try to create like a medium output pickup that would sound really sort of warm and PAF-like when you use it as a full humbucker, but also has this pristine clarity when you use it in split mode and everything like that. But the new pickups have given each series their own voice. I don't know if that's a good answer to your question, but
I mean, it makes sense, because since you have all these different models, then you want them to sound in a specific way. But the thing is, when I mean, I hope I could get, I don't know, 20 Strandbergs or whatever to have each specific nuance, but it's not really the case. So I mean, I chose this one because I play 7-string, and it was, to my knowledge, the only 7-string with a tremolo bar. So but what you're saying is that, if I understand correctly, is that with the metal, the metal series is not the one you chose for versatility, that maybe the one that is more versatile would be the Fusion or the original.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that-
sort of. Given the switching that we've developed for each model, we try to expand the versatility as far as
Okay.
as we can possibly take it, but it's within the realms of metal in case of the
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
series. So if we take like the split coil sounds of a metal Bowden with the passive pickups, it's going to be a little hard to get sort of a true 50s single coil sound, because it's all the positions are going to be more muscular in their character.
Yeah.
So they're all sort of equally versatile, but within their respective realms.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want maximum versatility, you would probably go with a Fusion. And if you want like maximum versatility with like with a nudge towards high gain sounds like that, you want maximum versatility. But if you had to choose, you would really sort of, you're real picky about your high gain sounds, then you would go with a metal or a prog.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're still going to be like the main ingredient in the tone. And the way you play it and the way you feel the guitar and the way you feel the pickup is still going to make just the biggest difference. So if you're used to pickups with higher output and like a thicker feel, and you have a signal chain that you have carefully tweaked for use with that kind of pickup, you're going to be able to get like surf sounds and all kinds of sounds out of it. I don't know if that's an answer to the question.
Oh yeah. And I absolutely agree. I mean, we're talking about the pickups, not that much about my fingers, but I absolutely agree that the sound comes from there too. But yeah, thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Oh.
Well, all right. Well, we're going to continue with sort of the sister model of the one of the original neck through, and that is the Prog neck through. And the Prog series is one of our most popular guitars, and for good reason. A lot of people like sort of the sleekness, the stealthiness of them, and especially combined with the ebony fretboard. They have this sort of sleek feel to them that many of our players enjoy. And this one also has chambered alder wings. No, sorry, swamp ash wings, of course. I'm just confused. And also a roasted maple neck, but with an ebony fretboard. And it comes in this truly gorgeous trans gray burst, as well as natural, that you all know and love. And all Prog models come with a tremolo. I forgot to say that, but the original models come with a hardtail bridge, and the Prog models come with a tremolo bridge. So those would be the new Prog models. And it features, of course, our new Strandberg MF Prog Humbuckers, which by comparison to the original humbuckers have slightly higher output. They're stronger wind pickup, both of them. And what we try to achieve with the new Prog pickups is maximum versatility and sort of, yeah. Sorry, we have a question. Welcome.
Hi there.
Who's with us?
Michael.
Welcome, Michael.
Hi. I was just curious. I'm very excited about the launch of the neck through items. I've been following them forever. Very exciting. I was just curious, and I don't want to derail or anything, but is there any information on the neck through plenties? I've been dying. Is there any information you could give about the release of those?
It's a very popular question. We get it every day, and we don't know. It's the best answer I can give you right now. The guitars that many, like both the Cell and Pliny and the Nectar Pliny, that a lot of people have seen Pliny played, is not yet in production, and we don't know if it's going to be in production. But the ones played by Pliny were samples given to him to sort of try out for us, and we don't know yet. That's the actual truth. We hope to be able to offer them, but this has been a very sort of unusual year, and we have limited capacity for almost everything. So a lot of those truly fun projects have been postponed for now. But I'll have to say I hope it's going to be offered, but I can't say right now. But there are a lot of people who would want that model. We know that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to do our best. All right. All right. As I was saying, the Prog pickups
Not in production.
have been designed for maximum versatility with a nudge towards high gain. And what we've done here, if you compare it to the original humbuckers, the output is slightly higher, but it's still a medium gain. All right, we have a question, I believe. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi.
Hello. I'm currently playing the Bowden 6 model, and I've wanted one of the Prog versions for quite some time.
Okay.
I've just checked it out on your website. It seems there's a waiting list. Is there any idea how long the waiting list could be?
Well, no, I really don't know at this time, but this whole year we've had pretty long wait lists for all models because we've been out of stock like the majority of this year of like all models.
Yes.
But no, I don't know at this time.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to shout from over here on Corona safe distance. we're publishing the actual stocks tomorrow. So the wait list right now is just until tomorrow, and then we'll see how many have signed up and how quickly they'll sell out, of course, because we don't have huge quantities right now. But for now, we just put up the product info, and then tomorrow they will actually come out in the shop.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ola. We got some accurate information there. It's very nice. It's a team effort, truly. But yeah, so the pickups on these were designed to be more open to suggestion, basically. They're medium output pickups, and they're made to preserve tightness and sort of, yeah. All right, we have another question.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt. Just by any chance, is there any upcoming love for the lefties?
Well, yeah, I sort of knew it would come. It's an everyday question here, but the truth is that we're a relatively small company, and our production capacity is way lower than you would think. So we can only build so many guitars each month, and so far we haven't been able to build lefties because we're back ordered on everything, and that's mainly righties, of course. So even though we feel we truly feel for all the lefties out there, but we simply can't produce enough guitars at this time to do it. But we will do our absolute best. But this year has been particularly challenging. But we haven't forgotten about you guys. We haven't. We just have to gather all our resources to do it and do it properly. So that's the best answer I can give you. We're gonna do our best, and we feel with you guys.
Thank you. I'll be waiting patiently, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, but that was the Prog model, and well, moving on to the limited edition Fusion Titanium model. And this very pretty guitar is like Ola said before, it's a limited edition, limited to 60 units worldwide. And this is a really cool one. Of course, it comes equipped with the new MF pickups in the configuration humbucker single coil humbucker. And it's also equipped with a push-pull on the tone knob to access even more different sounds. So what you have here is you have like our most versatile model with our new MF pickups that are designed to give this sort of like a softer kind of Strandberg tone. This model is not meant to give like the hardest attack and like the thickest sounds, but it's designed to accept all kinds of sounds that you might want to use it for. And of course, the balance between the humbuckers. And all right, we have another question.
Hey, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Great. I don't know if this is necessarily a question that you'd be equipped to answer, and you guys might get it frequently, but I've never had a chance to actually ask. I'm from a relatively remote place. Like I'm talking to you from Newfoundland, Canada.
Okay.
We only have one major distributor throughout our entire province, and it's pretty large. And it's not anything that I could ever see us being able to get a chance to ever like demo one of the guitar products. Do you guys either have anything in place for people who are in situations like that, or have any plans in the future to make them a more, I guess, commercially available?
Yeah, always would be the best answer. But of course, we want everybody to have like access to our guitars, like no matter where they live. But it's sort of the question gets sort of related to the lefty question, like from previous. It's like we have a strict limit in production capacity, and at this point we can't really fill the current dealer orders. Like we're back ordered from the dealers we already have. So it's like to take on even more dealers and sort of get our guitars to even more places where we couldn't really sort of entertain those orders. We couldn't deliver enough instruments, but
it definitely makes a lot of sense. I figured that it was probably a distribution and like capacity thing.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask like one more question, just kind of generally?
Yeah, of course.
Great. The thing that makes me the most nervous about trying something, especially when I'm in such a remote location where I feel like I would need to purchase it, more or less find out because it's not readily available, is the patented neck profile. It's obviously it seems like it's either the weirdest feature or the most appealing feature of the guitar from somebody who's never actually gotten to see one in person.
Yeah.
How would you describe it? Like to best understand from somebody who hasn't been able to like actually put this in their hands.
Well, I'll do my best. It's harder than it would seem, but if we take a look at this one, for example, I'm just going to see if I can get just I could get really close. Yeah. So here we go. You can see the EndurNeck here. So the idea behind the EndurNeck is that your hand will be at its strongest if you can grip something like from in a straight, with a straight thumb and a straight wrist. Okay. And the way this is designed is to force your thumb and your wrist into a more healthy position, like compared to a round neck. So I'm just going to see if I can like demonstrate it like this. So here you have 3 different planes like this.
Right.
And so you have 3 flat surfaces to place your thumb on. And depending on where you are on the neck, the position is going to change like this. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So when you're down here, your hand is going to be further away from your body, and therefore you can't do something like that. It's going to be really hard. So you will probably choose this plane here, and as you move up, depending on your playing technique, you either change into like the next plane or you keep steady on one of them. But this will keep your wrist straight at all times. And when you get higher up, sorry, I'm not friends with the camera right now.
No, you're actually doing this is probably the most in-depth, actual, more practical approach I've seen to this.
All right, cool.
It's one of the things that I'm noticing there, because I find for anybody who's like typically learning how to play guitar for the first time, one of the things that I constantly hear is you always have to correct your posture, including your hand posture.
Yeah.
And like, you know, one thing I've always frequently seen is like people's thumbs will hang up over their neck.
Yeah.
But when I first saw this, it was always presented to me as like it will kind of automatically move your hand into the position that it should be in. But from what I can see there now, it almost looks like it gives you availability to really grip it instead. It's just like you still have your choice of where you're putting it, or where you're comfortable. But it's going to let you more or less like use that to its full potential just based on the way it's shaped. Is that more accurate to it, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's supposed to give you, like, preserve your strength and keep your wrist straight at all times, but it's not supposed to affect your playing technique like in a deep way, but it's supposed to, like, in a gentle way, nudge you towards a better way of playing. And it's possibly the most common question we get is how does it feel to play? I've never played one before, and as it is, it's very hard to describe. But I would say like 9 out of 10 guitar players that just purchase one of our guitars, and we have this generous returns policy for this reason. You're supposed to be able to try it out, but the coverage of that is different in different locations. But 9 out of 10 find it very, very natural. Like within, I would say, like 5 or 10 minutes, it feels very natural to them. But not everyone, of course. You can't design a guitar that's perfect for everyone.
No, I think that was really good. I kind of wanted to get the like more practical approach to it, because it's hard when it's always in a picture or in like a tech demo on a YouTube video.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah,
more,
it is.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I really appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So where were we? This is the limited fusion titanium with this really cool titanium finish. And also the titanium finished hardware sort of seals the deal with this one. Yeah, that's the camera I'm supposed to be using. So here you can see like this almost stone-like titanium finish that goes really well together with the roasted maple neck like that. And of course the Pau Ferro fretboard. And our new pickups. And here you can see this super awesome new titanium hardware finish. That's only available on this model for now. We're not sure. Maybe it will turn up on additional models in the future. But this is a new titanium model. Otherwise, it has the same sort of specs that the standard Fusion model has. It has an chambered alder body and a maple top, full thick maple top, and it has more sort of vocal mid-range compared to the other models. It's a very singing Strandberg guitar, but good for almost everything. A lot of different pickup combinations, a lot of different sounds, tremolo bridge, and everything you love, basically. So that's the titanium. Any questions so far concerning this one? All right, I'm moving on. Just raise your hand whenever you want to ask something. Yeah, I'm just going to take the time to show you two of our most popular models since their launch last year. It's the Nectar Fusion, which are going to be featuring our new pickups as well. it's still the super popular Neck-Through Fusion Teal. And the only change we made to this model, beside the pickups that are also our MF Fusion pickups, is that this model now features a Pau Ferro fretboard instead of a roasted maple fretboard from before, to sort of tie things up with the Fusion line overall, that all feature the Pau Ferro fretboard. All right, I'm just going to show you the other one as well, while we're at it, so to speak. And that's the super pretty Orange Burst model. It's a very, very pretty guitar. So this is like the final model that are going to be featuring our new MF pickups, and it's a metal neck-through models. So these feature the highest output MF pickups, but we've been careful not to put, like, we put a lot of energy into these pickups, and Michael too, of course, to make them just right. You know, the metal pickups have sort of the thickest character out of the line. It goes well together with what we're trying to achieve with the metal line of guitars. But they're not only chunky, they're tight as well, and you can play a lot of different styles with these. And of course, you have the really, really good higher fret axis and the stronger fundamental tone of the neck-through design. So this is the purple metal neck-through. And this is the yellow metal neck-through. All right, guys. Do we have any more questions about the 6-string models before we move on to longer models? Any more questions? Otherwise, I'll just keep showing you new exciting stuff, and you can just raise your hand whenever you like. All right. Well, what should we do next? Yeah, I think we're going to move on to a different kind of instrument. And in this case, we have the first and only Strandberg Fretless Bass. And this is based on our Bowden original model. And it features the same pickups, the same preamp, the same chambered swamp ash body with this gorgeous grain in it. And of course, the roasted maple neck, Enduro neck, of course. And the roasted figured maple fretboard. It's a very pretty one. So, all right. So what is this bass? Well, it's a fretless bass, and that's something that some of you have been asking about. And of course, we want to deliver something for you fretless guys out there. And when it comes to the features, besides being fretless, we still kept our the multi-scale arrangement. So it starts out at 33 inches here on the high G string, and it ends up at 35 inches on the low B. And we've used that scale configuration to not to just achieve like a tight B string and a good overall balanced tone, but it's also to preserve playability, not to make it too long, not to make it too short, and of course keeping it balanced. So we have, just like on the other original basses, we have this duo of Strandberg Zen blade pickups, which sort of translates into a noiseless jazz bass type single coil pickup. So this kind of pickup really sort of translates your playing and the sound of the wood through the signal chain. So this is a very versatile bass that can handle almost any kind of style, and especially when you combine it with this special Nordstrand preamp that features master tone, master volume, of course. We have a question.
Hello again.
Hi again. Welcome.
You're doing great. You're doing great, by the way.
All right, thank you.
You showed, so the previous guitars you showed, the bolt-on ones had a sort of slightly thinner neck joint. You know, it was,
sorry if I appear confused. But you say a different neck joint?
Yeah, I mean the bolt-on ones, you know, it wasn't this full piece. It was sort of, I don't know how you call it, scalloped or something.
Well, let's look at it again. But
yeah, okay. Because my question was that, of course, now there's going to be the bolt-ons and the neck throughs.
Yeah, but, exactly.
Yeah. So as you can see, I mean, here is in yours is deeper. You know, the cut is deeper than here. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, actually not. The shape of the attachment and the cutouts are exactly the same.
So isn't like this piece chunkier than the ones you're having?
No, actually not.
Sorry.
It's the same.
Okay,
So
okay.
It might be due to this finish or the lighting or something like that,
Okay.
but it's the same design. So your Prog there is gonna feel exactly the same.
Okay. Well, just a quick follow-up question.
Yep.
I like green guitars, and your logo is green. So apparently, Strandberg likes green guitars too. Any plans on making green guitars, or shall I continue buying natural ones and doing the custom ship?
Well, that's a good question. And to just hark back to the production capacity sort of thing, we always try to build guitars that will appeal to a large number of players. And as you go progressively freakier, you're sort of limiting yourself in a way. But if we could choose like completely just do whatever we like, we would of course like to offer a lot of different finishes. Like everything from yellow to pink to slime green to polka dots and everything. But as things are right now, we have to stick to the sort of finishes that a lot of people enjoy and could see themselves wearing, so to speak. But if we can make like an unlimited amount of guitars, we would do all kinds of crazy finishes. But we can't do that right now. So
I mean, as long as you keep doing the natural things.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if one day you can, if one day you can, just think about me and do a green one, but just keep the natural ones.
Yeah, of course. I think we will, but we'll continue to develop stuff. I can't make any promises, but most likely, yeah.
And sorry for interrupting.
No, of course. Just come back to me. It's no worries. All right. Oh, I believe we have another question. Do we have another question? Yeah, we do. Hi.
Hi, that might be me again.
Oh, all right. Well, we're having some technical difficulties here, but you know we're a lot of people here, so just bear with us. You're gonna get through eventually.
No problem. I'll start off slightly merry, and then, as it's customary for me to be British, I'll get more and more miserable as we go along.
Okay, all right.
First off, if it's possible to make green guitars, that would be totally sick. Second off, second, and this is the miserable bit. There's of course a European Union store and a US store.
Yeah.
My country sadly leaves the EU. Does that change anything about your guys' ability to distribute to the UK?
Well, not really, no. But there's still a lot of things, a lot of details about Brexit that we don't know yet, because it hasn't sort of gone official yet. But you're not gonna be able to buy guitars at a web shop like in this exactly same way. It's still gonna be like but it's a matter of the conditions of Brexit. So we don't know, but we'll happily continue to ship guitars to the UK, no problem. But possibly a little bit more paperwork. Possibly it's going to be some kind of import scenario for the buyer, but there are still a lot of things you probably know sort of as much as we do about it. There's still
I think
a
you
lot
know as much as our government knows about it.
there's a lot of uncertainty, but we're still going to have our UK dealers, and we happily accept orders to the UK, no problem.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Should I continue? We have another question. Hi, welcome.
Hey man, thanks for doing this today. I had a quick question regarding the new MF pickups. Do you guys plan to do anything on Playground out there and put sound samples out for the public to hear?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the other pickups?
Definitely.
Cool.
They're about to be launched like now together with the pickups themselves. So you'll be able to, if you visit Playground, I'm not sure if it's actually now or perhaps tomorrow, but you'll be able to compare, like, let's say a Fusion model with the SIR pickups to a Fusion model with new MF pickups. And it's going to be the same guitar. It's going to be the same guitar, the same strings, everything the same.
Yeah, Playground's really useful because it's like, as the other speaker was saying earlier, it's a little tough to get your hands on a Strandberg sometimes. Yeah. But you can log in there, put on some, high quality headphones and hear the differences between the models, the pickups, different amps, clean tones, dirty tones, etc. So that's been really useful for me. That's great.
And that also has a lot to do with this, like be able to hear stuff before, because we know there are a lot of players out there who aren't able to sort of just visit the local store and just grab a Strandberg and try it out. So so for comparison reasons, we really needed the Playground in that way, because you still can't feel the neck, and you can't sort of feel the body, you can't experience it while playing it, but you can still, it will help you to choose the model that will suit you best. So
that's good.
It will be available. All right. Where was I? I was talking about the bass. So back to the bass. And if additional questions come, just let them come. And we just go a little back and forth. But this comes in a 5-string and a 4-string. And as I said before, it is a maximum versatility bass. You have this pristine Nordstrand preamp with active passive switching. You have 3-band EQ. You have passive tone that's still sort of active in passive mode, if you will. And everything about it is just, it's a very classy fretless bass. And don't worry about the multi-scale arrangement together with the non-frets, because we feel that you're not going to notice it. You're just going to play it, and you're going to think it feels excellent, and you're going to love the sound of it. But that's it. That's the fretless bass, and it's going to be available real soon. So I'm going to move on to some of our other extended scale friends. And let's start with the one that you guys have been asking about for the longest time. And we've been really anxious to release these onto you guys. So the first one out is the Bowden True Temperament 7. I also got the 8 here, and I'm going to show it to you shortly. But this is the model that features, of course, the True Temperament frets. I'm going to show you a close-up of these frets here. Yeah. Those are the squiggly frets, or the weird frets, or whatever you want to call them. But it's a superbly intonating guitar that you can play in any mode, any key, and everything just sounds really, really balanced and clear. And for coolness, you also have the blue hardware that goes really well together with the blue burst finish, of course. And you have the Fishman Fluence pickups. And a couple of things that you can't really see like that is that it's a chambered American basswood body, coupled to a full thick flame maple top. And you have the roasted maple neck. And you have the Pau Ferro fretboard. This gorgeous grain here. Just look at it again. Yeah. It's a very pretty fretboard. And like Ola said before, these are the first series production True Temperament equipped guitars to ever be released. Of course, together with our previous Bowden 6 True Temperament. But these would be like the extended range counterparts of that one. And we get a lot of questions about True Temperament. And one of them are, can you play a True Temperament guitar together with, like, if you're in a band and the other guys in the band have sort of normal, equal tempered instruments, like straight fretted instruments? Can they be played together? And the answer is yes, they can be played together. And it does not sound weird, and it does not sound out of tune. These differences, even though the frets are really squiggly, and you think, and it does make a huge difference to sort of the harmonic content of the guitar and the sound of chords and stuff like that. But the actual differences from straight in terms of cents and hertz, it's not that great. So it's still gonna sound really good together with like a normal guitar or a piano or a normal bass or like any normal band context, really. So it truly only adds to the basic design. So you have everything that is sort of like, well, the spec wise is sort of it's a combination of a metal and a fusion model, just to expand on the versatility. So you have the depth of sound from the American basswood, and you have the snappiness from the roasted maple neck, and you have the mid-range, like the vocal qualities of Pau Ferro, all in one instrument. And when we decided to do these True Temperament guitars, we didn't want them to be limited to any sort of genre or style or anything like that. We wanted to like make sure that all players could get a really, really good sound out of them. And that's also like our choice of the Fishman pickups that most of you are familiar with from our other extended range guitars. They're really sort of versatile, and you can get all kinds of sounds from them. Everything from super high gain, super chuggy, super tight, low noise, well, a true gent. Yeah. Yeah, and it does. It does. You can get all kinds of sounds out of it. All right, another popular question when it comes to True Temperament is, can you use different tunings on it, or do you have to stick with standard tuning? No, you don't have to stick with standard tuning, but there are limitations because the design of the True Temperament is meant to harmonize all the individual sort of the notes in a chord and the notes in a scale. And the limitation you have to work with is that the configuration is made for a fixed interval between the strings. It doesn't mean that you have to tune it in E standard or B standard or whatever you want to call it, like standard tuning for a 7-string or 8-string or 6-string. But you have to keep sort of the relative, sorry guys, I'm losing words here, but the relative interval between each string have to remain the same. And it's the most picky with the plain strings. At the lower side of things, like fairly common things like tuning the strict 6-string version in drop D, for instance, that works fine. You know, the deviation you're going to get on that low D string is just, it's very, very, very tiny. So it's still going to sound super sort of articulated and super clean. But if you're one of those players that tune in like straight fourths, that you would tune up the high B string and tune up the high E string, that would sort of render bigger problems. Not really problems, but you know, the True Temperament system is very, very accurate. And if you stick to sort of standard tuning, relative standard tuning, if you tune a 7-string to, let's say, D or A standard instead, like a whole step down, that will work perfectly. You won't notice anything. It's going to work just as good as standard tuning. And if you want to know more about the True Temperament system, please just send an email to True Temperament themselves, and they gladly help you out. They are the experts on True Temperament. They know everything about it, and they're going to answer all your questions just as quickly as possible. And us too, of course. Just send us an email through support@strandbergguitars.com, and we're going to get back to you as soon as possible. It goes for all other questions as well. All right, that was the 7-string. Do we have any questions on the 7-string? All right, everyone is waiting for the 8-string. All right. And here we go. Here we go. Here it is. The gorgeous purple beast. And you're gonna get another look at the squiggly frets and the gorgeous Pau Ferry fretboard. Yeah, you get the idea. There's the gorgeous top. And as we know, 8-string players, they want to be noticed. So we love the purple finish, and we wanted this lack of. All right, hi again.
Hello, Peter.
Hi.
You answered my question on tuning almost, but I just want to make sure that I understood.
Okay.
Because to see if you see, otherwise I will contact True Temperament, as you said.
Okay.
But with the 8-string, a very common alternative tuning is to do EA and then standard.
Yeah.
Would that handle it, or is it tricky?
No, it will work perfectly. As long as you keep like. It's very hard to describe. True Temperament are excellent at describing their own system, but what you're trying to do when you do these, like the calculations of the frets, is making sure that all the intervals everywhere on the neck are perfectly in line with each other, and sort of as long as you keep the relative distance in pitch between the strings. It's not about the starting note. It's not about it starting at a low F sharp or a low B for the 7-string or an E for the 6-string. It's about the interval between the strings. So you can tune it a whole step down, like the whole guitar, and it will be perfect.
This was sort of a drop and then standard. So double drop.
Drop. You mean like a drop A?
So it's EA and then the standard EA and etc.
It's less picky with the lower notes, and the lowest strings are perfectly fine to tune down a whole step. It's not going to be like 100% as accurate as if you tuned it to it. It's still going to be like a lot better than a common guitar.
Okay,
So yeah, if you want to preserve like the absolute 100% accuracy of the system, you're going to keep like the relative interval between the strings. But drop A, drop E, drop D for a 6-string, that's perfectly fine. It sounds excellent.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. So that is the purple neck through 8-string. And it's going to be available shortly. And just like Ola said, the quantities of these are still going to be limited. We would truly love for them to be not limited, but they still are. They're very sort of labor and material intense guitars to build, and we just can't make any more of them right now. So we're going to offer the ones that we can, and we're going to do our best to build more as quickly as we possibly can. All right, so those are the new models. And we're soon going to be moving on to the first instance of Book the Tech. And in this case, we have a gentleman from, I believe, from Norway that we're going to be talking to, and he's going to describe some issues. It's not necessarily issues, but questions about his guitars, about our guitars, and I'm going to do my absolute best to answer them. I have tools, I have components, and I'm not sure what he's going to be asking me about, but I'm going to do my best to help him out, basically. So, and to do that, I'm just gonna put this down for a moment. And all right, we're gonna see if it turns up, and if he's not with us, I'm just gonna move on to your questions or other products. I'm just gonna show you more stuff. So, all right, I'm just gonna quickly show you all the models that I've shown you previously, so you get a sort of a grip of the new models that are coming out, and then we'll see if this Norwegian gentleman shows up or not. But first out, we have the original 6 neck through. This is the brown burst version. I hope you can see it. It's a very pretty guitar. And then we have the same one. This is still the original neck through, original 6 neck through in the natural finish. So you can see all these gorgeous woods like that. And yeah, here it is. See, I hope you can see the flames in that top, but it's a very pretty guitar. Yeah, that's it. And the sort of sibling model, the Prog 6 neck through, is here. And this is the natural finished one. It's close in specs to the original neck through, but it features an ebony fretboard and a treble bridge. Otherwise, it's very, very close. And these two series of guitars have always been close. So it's no surprise like that. Here is the trans gray burst version. All dark. You love it, don't you? We do. And here is the Fusion Titanium limited edition, 60 pieces worldwide. It's spec-wise, it's like a normal Fusion, but features the new Strandberg MF pickups and the titanium finished body. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Can you see the texture of that one? It's a satin beauty with the titanium finished hardware as well. So just if you want one of these, you're gonna have to pull the trigger soon. And then we have the previously released Fusion Nectar guitars. This is a teal, like that you all know and love. It's a very pretty guitar. And we have the orange burst version that looks like this. It's almost like a sunset type of finish. It's very pretty. Like that. And of course, we also have the updated metal neck-through models featuring the new Strandberg MF pickups. That's why you don't see a battery box up here, because these are now passive and we love them. This is a purple one. I hope you can see sort of how the finish reflects light like that. And the yellow one. That is guaranteed to raise some eyebrows. It's very, very yellow. That's the way we like it. All right, those were the 6-string guitars. And don't forget about the Fretless Bass, the original 5 and original 4 fretless. These are outstanding basses, really lightweight, really well balanced, great tone. These gorgeous like Nordstrand pickups and preamp. Just an overall very sort of accessible bass that can really let you play your best. So that's the new fretless bass. It's going to be limited, so if you want one of these, you're going to have to buy them soon. And to round up like the new guitar models, we have the true Temperament ones that I was talking about just now. But this is the blue one. It's the 7-string one. It features the chamber basswood body and the Palferi fretboard. And of course, the true Temperament frets for excellent intonation in all modes, in all scales, like everything like that. And it features the Fishman Fluence modern humbuckers with a lot of switching options like that, like modern voice, vintage voice, hot rodded voice, single coil, everything like that. And of course, the blue hardware. Finally, the 8-string true Temperament. This will really get you down there. And for excellent intonation in all keys, in all modes, this will be the 8-string to get. This way you won't have to choose. You're going to be able to play anything in any key, and it's just going to sound excellent. So that's the Bowden 8 true Temperament, everyone. Yeah. All right, so that sums up this part of the virtual showroom, the new guitars, the new bass, and we're soon gonna start talking about our new line of pickups. And this is a labor of love that has been going on for years, actually, by now. And the idea, like Ola said, was to develop the best pickup we could ever put in our guitars, but also to shape the sound of each series, to sort of capture the idea and the characteristics even more than it does now. You know, we love the Fishman pickups and we love the Sir pickups, but there are several models that feature the same model pickups that many of our players are perfectly happy with. But we wanted to take things further and just design a pickup for each of the premium lines of guitars to just capture our vision of the tone in those models. And that collaboration with pickup designer Michael Frank ended up in this new line of Strandberg MF pickups, which we are very proud of. And not only are they going to be featured on several new models like the ones I just showed you, but they're also going to be possible to buy in our shop. And I have one of them with me right now, and they feature the black nickel, gorgeous black nickel finish. And as you can see, oh, sorry, wrong direction. As you can see here, the cables are soldered straight on to the base plate. And you can see all the way through. Sorry, you could if I remove the cable like that. You can see, in this case, the ceramic magnet sticking out there. That's the way they look. And well, in this case, it's a metal neck humbucker, but that's just one of the models. And we have seven different lines of these pickups to be featured on our most our premium guitars. So starting off with the original, like featured on the Neck Through Original 6. They all look the same, so there is not much point in showing them like that. But spec-wise, they're all different to capture different tones and give you the whole design of each series, basically. So the original humbuckers, they start out with, we didn't want to make like a really low output true vintage humbucker like that. We still wanted to preserve versatility. So the original humbuckers, they feature an Alnico 3 magnet in the neck and an Alnico 5 magnet in the bridge. And the neck pickup is fairly it's a cool pickup. It's not wound hot. It's meant to capture the PAF vibe of openness and stringiness and clarity of notes through chords and like distorted tones, heavily distorted tones and clean tones equally well. So that's a lower output pickup, and the bridge version is pushing 11K kilo ohms for those of you who like DC resistance, and it's wound to give a little extra push. It's not meant to be exactly the same as the neck pickup, but to push things a little bit further. And by winding it slightly hotter, it also works better in split mode, because everyone who has ever used a split vintage bridge humbucker knows that if you have a low wind pickup that features a weak magnetic field, the split sound is going to also be very weak, because it doesn't really match up to a vintage single coil sound. It's going to be a weaker sound, a thinner sound. So to avoid the split bridge humbucker sound being too thin, the original bridge humbucker is wound slightly hotter, but it's not a distortion pickup. It works really well with high gain, but it's not meant for like the extreme distortion of gent and that kind of thing. But of course, with the right playing technique, with the right amp, the right pedals, you can do that too. No worries. And going from the original, the next one output-wise would be the Fusion models. And the Fusion line of pickups feature a bridge humbucker, a neck humbucker, and a mid-position single coil. That can, of course, be used in the neck and the bridge as well. But on our guitars, on our Fusion models that are configured HSH, that's going to be the setup. And the configuration the Fusion line is based on the original line, but it adds a little bit of additional output. It's still an Alnico 5 equipped bridge humbucker, an Alnico 3 neck humbucker, and an Alnico 5 single coil. And just talking about them individually. The Bridge Fusion humbucker is a medium output pickup. And it's also like the original Bridge. It's wound slightly hotter than vintage. It's sort of what you would call like a hot rodded vintage humbucker. It's not meant to be like a super high gain pickup, but it's meant to give a little bit more push than a straight up vintage humbucker. While the neck pickup is meant to capture like, it's not meant to push gain in that way. It's meant to be clear, and it's meant to be clear through chords, through notes, individual notes, and sort of take all signal chains and playing styles equally well, and also split well, of course. That's always a priority. And it also, with the Fusion model, you also have to make sure that the combinations between like full series humbucking, split humbucking, partial split humbucking, and true single coils sort of match up and create an range of truly usable sounds. And like before, all the split positions on the new Fusions featuring our MF pickups are noise canceling. They're not stacks, they're not stacked pickups, but together the winding and the magnets are configured in such a way that you still get noise cancellation when using the humbucker split together with the mid single coil for the typical quacky sounds. But the single coil is also wound slightly hotter than vintage. It's pushing 7K with a 43 AWG formware wire, and it's slightly hotter than your typical 50s or 60s single coil to match better with the humbuckers, basically. All right, the next model in the line would be the Prog. The next model in line will be the Prog, and the Prog pickup took a lot of work, and we were truly picky about that pickup. In the Prog series of guitars, our Prog series guitars have proven popular among like the modern Prog player who uses a lot of different sounds, and sometimes through classic tube amps, a lot of pedals, and sometimes through modelers. And the modern Prog player is a very demanding player who wants all kinds of sounds out of a single guitar and wants all of them to be great, no matter if it's a funky, squeaky clean sound with a like typical single coil sound, or if it's this massive saturated high gain sound of like, yeah, well, you know, truly saturated modern high gain that is super tight, super clear, allows you to play like intricate chord variations with a lot of distortion, and still you can hear every note in the chord. And that was our aim with these pickups, to capture and deliver on that. So we didn't want to make the pickups too high output, because if you make them too high output, it's going to limit you when it comes to the crunch sounds and the clean notes, and it's also going to make the pickup darker sounding. If you wound it hotter, it's going to be darker sounding. And if there's something the modern Prog player doesn't want, it's dull and dark sounds. Well, if you choose that sound, if you tweak your knobs to get this thick, like dark sound, then of course you want that to happen. But when you want the pristine clarity of high gain and complex chord variations and stuff like that, you want the pickup to just deliver what you're playing, no matter what style you're playing and how much gain you're using, and you just want everything to come through. And doesn't matter if you play low, like thick, heavy chords, or if you play like intricate, clean chords, or if you're doing like tapping stuff, or whatever you're doing. These are meant to just deliver what you're playing through any rig and just be clear. Just transfer what you're doing with your fingers onto the amp. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's a medium pickup where we've tried to maintain a balanced frequency response, both in the bridge and the neck positions. Not too colored, just enough to bring out the clarity. All right. And the last one of this, like the basic models, we have 2 signature models as well. But if there's time, I'm going to talk about them too. But otherwise, you can read about them on our website. But the last founding model are the metal bridge and neck humbuckers. And those are, of course, the highest output pickups in the lineup. And those are both ceramic 8s. And they have ceramic mags. And that's the most notable difference between the metal pickups and the other ones. And they're wound hotter compared to the Prog pickups. And the voicing is thicker and heavier. And if you're going to make a hotter pickup, the ceramic mag will help retain clarity and tightness through gain. And no matter if you're playing leads or if you're playing rhythms, it's just going to make like the attack stronger, and it's going to preserve the clarity. Because we wanted these pickups to push your amp and your pedals harder compared to the other models, and just really deliver on the metal aspects of Strandberg. And want all the gent players, all the death metal players, all the like really heavy guys and girls just getting the tone they need, just straight out of the guitar. But still, the split positions, you have a lot of splitting and stuff going on here in the in-between positions. You're gonna have more information on that in our web shop. Just push the one, just click the one that you're interested in, and you're gonna get a lot more information, as well as wiring information in our support section. But you have a lot of splitting going on here, and that goes for the metal, the Bowden metal models as well. And even though the metal humbuckers are meant for metal, the modern metal player still uses like crunch tones and clean sounds every now and then. So there's still a priority. We wouldn't have like a humbucker that doesn't split well. It has to split well. And the metal pickups also split very well. So you're gonna get a single coil sort of tone that is gonna be like clear and articulate and everything you love about single coils. And it's gonna be slightly more powerful compared to like splitting a vintage type humbucker or splitting a medium wind humbucker as well. It's gonna be more like a sort of a thick, more modern type single coil sound they can still use with gain, because the brightness is under control, and output wise it matches well with the humbucking modes. It's not like you split the pickup and everything just goes away. You're gonna get a single coil tone, and you're gonna get a drop in output, but it's not gonna be as large as you commonly hear or experience. It's going to be a more balanced sort of coil split situation. All right, do we have any questions about the pickups? We're approaching the end of this instance of showroom. So, but we still have a little bit of time if you want to ask me something about the pickups or any of the guitars, of course, anything. Yeah, so I'm just gonna show these to you, like the guitars. And oh, we have a question.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hello again. I had a question. My first guitar teacher recommended that I change my pickups every year.
Okay.
Would you have a similar recommendation for these new pickups? Will they need changing often, or are they just sort of like good for the rest of time?
Well, I've never actually heard that advice before. I think it's the first time I hear that. And well, my advice would be, don't change anything that you like. Only change stuff that you're not happy with. But of course, we think these are the best pickups we have ever put in a Strandberg guitar. But still, they're meant to translate what you're doing, and the same goes for any other pickup. It's like if you grab the guitar and you just hit a chord, or you do whatever, and sort of and there's a smile on your face, and it sort of translates what you're doing, and your playing dynamics really come through your signal chain and everything like that. Well, I have no complaint. It's like it's a perfect thing. So yeah, if you pick up your guitar every day and you always find something lacking in your sound and in the response and everything about it, please go and change the pickups, because they're a very important part of your tone, and not to mention like the playing experience overall. There's a lot of, always when it comes to pickups, there's always talk of tone and timbre and stuff like that, but I would say that at least 50% is the way they respond to your playing. It's not just about that. That's a problem with like listening to stuff on YouTube and everything like that. It's the only way we can do it. But still, what you're hearing, like EQ wise, that you can tweak knobs and you can tweak your playing style and stuff like that, but the way it feels to you, that's a major part of it. Yes. So, and when you grab a guitar and you really feel like your playing comes out the other end, then I wouldn't change a thing. It's and that being said, of course, you can have different guitars for different things. It's like if you have 5 guitars and all of them feature the same pickups and it's sort of the same kind of tone, maybe it's time to change pickups in one of them just to make it sort of make you play differently, or just make your palette of sounds just wider. But changing pickups every year, like no matter what, I can't really support that idea.
Needless to say, he's not been my teacher for a long time.
I can't see the point. If you're happy, you're happy, and that's what it's all about. So I would say no. If you already like them, don't change them. But if you find something lacking, go searching for a better pickups. That would be my answer.
Thanks for your opinion.
All right. That's all for this time, folks. I hope you've been enjoying this showroom with all the new guitar models and the new pickups, and onwards to more exciting stuff. And I'll see you again tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.